Hey everybody, welcome to the Big Huntsville Podcast, the show that's all about the people, places, and the stories that make this city an amazing place. I'm your host, Carl Thomas, your favorite realtor, singer-songwriter, and all-around Huntsville cheerleader. Each week, we'll be shining a light on the community heroes who make this city tick, having some fun along the way, and sharing a few real estate tips when you least expect it. So whether you've lived in Huntsville your whole life, or you're just thinking about calling Huntsville your new home, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome back to Big Huntsville Podcast. I'm your host, Carl Thomas, and today we have somebody really neat with us. His name is Joseph Ajdarodini, and he is the founder and owner of Muscled Up Movers, the Huntsville Gym, which is something new we're going to talk about, and Sweetheart Cleaners. He founded that, and he actually has partnership in that, and they go out and clean stuff, which is cool. He actually, I know you won't believe it about looking at him because he's got little baby arms, but he is actually the current Mr. Alabama and Mr. Huntsville 2024 bodybuilding champion at the age of 42. 42. He's really old. Y'all got to listen loud because his voice, he's an older guy. Can't talk very good anymore. Anyways, so welcome, Joseph. Thank you for being with us. How's everything going, man?
Man, it's going great, Carl. Thank you so much for the introduction.
Yeah. Wasn't that sweet?
It was very good.
I just don't know how much I got to pay you later.
Oh, a lot. You got to pay a lot. Hey, let me tell you something cool. Okay, so everybody knows the Muscled Up Mover stuff around Huntsville just because y'all have such a big presence. So for this podcast, I actually did something special.
Okay.
I shaved my head just like you, buddy. I have been getting all kinds of people asking me if I'm the Muscled Up Movers guy, and I tell them yes. I ask them if they need me to lift anything to prove that. So super cool. I'm going to leave my hat off for the rest of this. And what we're going to do is we're going to confuse the audience because it's going to look like two twins are interviewing each other. So tell us a little bit about Muscled Up Movers. Like, how did Muscled Up Movers get started? What do you guys do? Tell us about that business.
For sure. So, it started really maybe when I was a kid, between probably 5 and 15 years old. My dad was a home builder. He built a house, we moved. He built a house, we moved. He built a house, we moved. In South Huntsville, we went to the Challenger School zone, stayed in that zone. We went to Grissom, and I probably lived in like 47 different houses between first grade and 12th grade because I was a professional mover as a kid because we kept things in boxes. We moved stuff. We built a house. We moved stuff. So as a kid, I was programmed to be a mover because we always bought and sold houses in his construction business. And then I got into the mortgage business at about the age of 20. I was in mortgages for about 16 years, banking, financing, PNC Bank, AmSouth Bank, RBC Bank, and buying a bunch of property in my younger years. But basically about 11 plus years ago, after being in banking and being around a lot of buyers and sellers, I had to sell and buy a 5-bedroom house, move from a 5-bedroom house. So in 2013, I was a trainer, I was a bodybuilder, I was a banker, and I had to call movers, and they all wanted to charge me like $4,000 to pick up my stuff and put it back down. And I was like, wow, that's not much of money, $4,000. I was like, well, let me just get all the guys at the gym. And I went to the gym. I was like, hey, we're going to go muscle up some furniture. Come with me. We went and got a U-Haul. We did it. I paid them. I probably costed that day $900 with a bunch of muscled up guys at the gym I was training people at. I was training bodybuilders and powerlifters and other clients. And I just told them, let's go muscle up some furniture. We did it. They made $20 an hour cash. It was better than their Applebee's money, their GNC money, their waiting at $2.30 an hour money. So they said, this was really cool. Like, let's do it again. Like living furniture. It actually feels good. I'm exercising. I'm pumping up my veins and my muscles and my biceps. So I was in banking around buyers and sellers. So I just made up some business cards and I called it Muscled Up Movers because we muscled up furniture. And 2013, we did 13 houses just through word of mouth. The next year, 2014, we did like 1,000 houses. No, went from 13 houses to 100 houses to 1,000 houses within 2.5 years. So it was ridiculous. Like people needed movers. People liked the muscled up experience. People like the strong guys with big arms and moving your furniture. So now 11 plus years, we've been in Manhattan County, Huntsville, Alabama, North Alabama. We've done over 36,000 customers in 11 plus years.
Yeah.
I was I still ringing at least 100 to 150 rings a week. A week.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. So now we got about 45 guys and we help about 10 customers a day.
Yeah. Well, you know what? My favorite thing about you guys is that because y'all are muscle dudes and y'all like lifting heavy things, anytime I have a client that's buying a house or making a move that has something weird to move, I always get in touch with y'all. The last one was actually a few months ago. Somebody had a storm shelter that was bolted to the floor in their garage.
I don't remember.
You guys gave and y'all picked that thing up and moved it, and they didn't believe it could happen. So, and they were super happy. I mean, they got their storm shelter at their new house, and they actually found somebody that wanted to do that job. Because actually, if you go around looking for somebody to do something like that, there's not many people who want to get into that kind of thing. I mean, like hot tubs, anything big and weird, just like you, man, just like you.
Very weird. Very weird. You know?
It's like awesome to watch, but you don't want to do it yourself.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. So, okay. So you and I, we've had a little bit of history. You actually were my personal trainer for a while, which I was super excited because that would help me to get you back in shape. I probably helped lead you to that Mr. Alabama title recently and everything. I know that.
Sure.
But so much of your life kind of revolves around fitness and health and muscles. So the more recent thing that I've seen about you, because I follow you on all social media, is I see a lot of these advertisements about the Huntsville Gym. What's that about? Tell us about Huntsville Gym.
Yeah, so crazy story, full circle. The universe will always come first circle. When I was little, when I said I was little, but I wasn't little, I was obese between probably 7 and 10 and 11 years old. So about 4 years of my life, I was morbidly obese. I had drawstring pants. I had dyslexia. They didn't know what dyslexia was. I had a speech impediment because my father was Iranian and we spoke more Farsi than we did English.
Wow.
So I was picked on because I couldn't speak. I was picked on because I had dyslexia. I couldn't read or write. And I was picked on because I was overweight and obese.
Yeah.
So I'm like, shit, life sucks. I'm 8 years old. I'm 9 years old. I'm 10 years old. I'm 11-year-old. So about 11 years old, I watched this movie with Chuck Norris and this other kid. It's called Sidekicks.
Yeah.
The awesome movie was basically a kid getting picked on with asthma, and Chuck Norris trained him up to be like Chuck Norris, right? I was like, I can do that too, even though I didn't have asthma. I had a weight problem, a reading problem, speaking problem. So when I was 11 years old, that summer, I spent all summer running up and down a ditch so that I could lose weight, because if I ran on the road, people would make fun of me. Who's this fat kid trying to lose weight, right? It doesn't feel good. So I lost a bunch of weight just running back and forth in a ditch for days and weeks and months of the summer. And after about a few years, I lost a bunch of weight. It felt good, but I wanted to join a gym. And my mom and dad did not want me to join a gym because of pricing, and they were busy. They were running businesses. So I had a buddy that was able to take me to his gym that he worked out at, which was called the Huntsville Gym. So I was 14 years old, and to get a membership, I didn't have any money. So they wanted me to be the janitor of the Huntsville Gym at 14 years old. I spent 2 years as a janitor, cleaning toilets, cleaning locker rooms, cleaning gym equipment. God, the world, the universe has just been good to me. I was 14 years old. At the age of 40, I was able to buy a gym that was going out of business, and I rebranded it and named it Huntsville Gym.
Wow, that's super cool, man. I didn't know that story. That's awesome. Yeah, that's cool. So
Janitor to entrepreneur.
you guys cater to any certain crowd? I mean, I know that you kind of have a circle of bodybuilders that kind of revolve around your life, but what do you guys do there? What do you have?
My main focus for about a year now has been helping men become better men. I think all men fight depression, anxiety, hormones, feelings, not feeling good, not feeling adequate. Every man has a gap between where the man is and where the man wants to be. And to get in between that gap, to fill that gap, I've been able to help probably 50 plus guys in the last year get better fathers, get better focus, get better entrepreneurs, get better with their weight, their hormones, their athletic ability. So as a kid, I wanted to be an action figure because I saw Chuck Norris, I saw Arnold Schwarzenegger, I saw Sylvester Stallone, I saw Van Damme. I made a mental commitment that I would always be an action figure, just like these guys on TV.
Yeah.
Now that I'm a father of 4, I also have a responsibility to be an action figure so my kids will be influenced by me. No child wants a dad that's a deadbeat, that doesn't have energy, that doesn't have drive, that doesn't have enthusiasm. If you want to be influential, you have to be influential. So I keep up my maintenance, not for glory or trophies or pieces of plastics or titles. I have a priority and a responsibility to my 4 kids to influence them to be better.
Yeah.
I have a responsibility for all my employees to influence them to be better. And now I have a responsibility for my 400 members to influence them to be better. So I want to take men and turn them into more influencers of their wife, their kids. Relationships can work better. Families can thrive better. Businesses can strive better. So my main focus is getting men to be better men to fill that gap. Now I've got other trainers here that work with the older crowd, the younger crowd, the athlete crowd. I only focus on men that are fathers or business owners that are looking to fill that gap as a man. But we got all kinds of trainers here. It's a 10,000 square foot facility.
Whoa,
It's
big place.
between the turfs, the weights, the ropes, the battle ropes, the punching bags, the yoga, the meditation, massage therapy. We've got everything for any person that's wanting to become better. And we use the philosophy just like Nike. Nike says, if you breathe air, you're an athlete.
Yeah.
So we use that same philosophy here. If you breathe air, you're an athlete and you can become the athlete of yourself, of your category, of your personality here at the Huntsville Gym.
Yeah, that's awesome. See, well, I can speak to what you're saying about your commitment to men because 2017, when you were training me, before I became this beast that I am now, it was more like a therapy session. When we would meet, I would just give you all the trash inside my life and we would just kind of talk through it. And that actually was a really special time for me. That actually set me on my path to fitness to the point where I am now, which I'm still going, man. I'm still rolling. And that was actually what started it, was those meetings with you. So that's pretty cool, man. And just to hear that you're doing that for multiple people, that's a really cool thing. And that your gym kind of focuses on that. That's neat.
Yeah.
I do think it's needed. All right. So rolling into the next thing, I actually poked fun at you recently about this, but I've seen a lot of these advertisements for couples yoga with your wife. Tell me. I want to hear about that.
I tell you, there's nothing no better than the relationship with your significant other. And I'll put the other side of the coin is, imagine a bad relationship with your significant other. How bad is everything?
Yeah.
If you're in dispute, if you're in a fight, if you have bad energy, if you have conflict, if a husband and wife are not on good terms, everything else is on good terms. Not your background, not your clients, not your focus, not your priorities, not your health, not your wants, not your desires. If you take a husband and wife that have a really bad relationship, everything else sucks.
Yeah.
But if you and your wife or your significant other or your date or the person you're dating, the person you're courting, if that relationship is just rainbows and sunshines and beautifuls, everything else is better. Their pizza tastes better, steak tastes better, movies seem better, your work feels better, you're excited to wake up, you're excited to go to bed, you're excited for life, air feels better, right?
Yeah.
So we created couples yoga to allow relationships to have that center, to share energy and build energy, because everybody has vibrations. You have vibrations. I have vibrations. This cup has vibrations. This phone has vibrations. Everything has a vibration. So when you're able to synchronize your vibrations and synchronize your energy through stretch and breathing and tantra, whatever you want to call it, you start to align your souls and your center being. When you leave couples yoga and you experience couples yoga, it's not even for the intimacy. It's just for the, wow, we shared movements and stretching. It's like being really good dancers, which none of us are good dancers unless you've gone through it and you're a competitive dancer. So you can see people that dance together have great relationships together. Yeah. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. But for Mrs. Smith, there was no chemistry. There was no intimacy. There was no relationship between Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. But when they shared the intensity of that movie, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, they became centered. They shared energy. They vibrated together. They vibed together. They had a good. That's when people say, man, we got a good vibe going on. Yeah. That's what relationships need. That's what relationships need. They need a good vibe.
Yeah.
So we manufacture that vibration. It's intentional, spiritual, it's breathing, it's breath work. And then we always finish with some champagne and chocolate. So what they do after couples yoga, that fight of the bring dinner, But it's nothing like having a good relationship. So, your hormones, your health, and your relationship will make everything else in life better. Like you could be broke and be evicted, but if your relationship's on point, if your health is on point, and when I say hormones, we all have chemicals, cortisol, stress, depression, or we have estrogen or testosterone or dopamines or androgen. We're trying to create those fix for couples and the fix in an individual's life because we all really just want to hit a dopamine. Yeah. A great exercise can give you a good hit of dopamine. A great kiss can create a good hit of dopamine. Movies can create a hit of dopamine. Food will create a hit of dopamine. It just depends on where you're getting your hit from. And if you get it from the healthy part, that health goes into your relationship. It goes into your body. It goes into your spirit. It goes into your heart. And now you're hitting on all cylinders. And when you're hitting on all cylinders, again, air feels better, sun feels better, cloud feels better. So that's what we're trying to do is just give people the good hit without the consequences.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, so can you do all the stretches?
No. And that's the beautiful part. It's beautiful when a husband and wife, it's like playing, me and my wife, every now and then we go shoot pool, we go bowling, or even do razor tag, just as kids, right? Or we go roller skating. It's nothing like fumbling and being humble with your significant other. And sometimes we have husbands and wives, you have like a 4-foot wife and a 7-foot husband. It is challenging for a couple to stretch together because their wingspan is different, their height is different, maybe their roundabout body is different. So it really creates challenges. And the cool thing is, if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. And relationships need challenges to change the relationship. So we're intentionally creating obstacles for them to achieve over with our ingenuity and our experience of, my wife has like 15 years of experience of yoga. I have 3 years. As uncomfortable as it is, you become comfortable with the person you're more comfortable with. So there's no humiliation. But it is fun. There is some banter. There's some giggling because I can't do shit. Or we know that. But it's not very social that nobody's perfect and nobody should be perfect. But we're able to get those arms and those limbs and those legs. But we're helping the husband and wife or significant other is helping you go into the stretch. They're helping you by pushing you or bending you or stretching you or holding you. It's really holding hands, touching arms, back to back, chest to chest, maybe spine with spine. And when you're able to, if I can do 70%, my wife can help me do 30%. That's how relationships are. A husband and wife always carries a balance. If the husband's at 70 and the wife's at 30, you got to give, you got to accept, they got to accept. So that's what the couples yoga allows to do. Therapeutic on who's good today, who's good next week, who's good next month. Because we always should be helping our shortcomings of our other. It's about giving, not receiving.
Yeah, I get that. I think I would end that class pretty quick by passing gas. I think that would probably happen a bunch of times. Hey, question about your size. So you're a big guy. Everywhere you walk into a room, I feel like people notice, when you walk in. Do you ever walk into a crowded room and feel uncomfortable about that because of your size? Like what is that limit or maximize for you in life?
I think my biggest curse is my biggest win. I still see myself as that kid that was scarred as obese, if that makes sense. And it's a scar that I want to always have and feel, because as long as I'm always striving not to cross that line again, to be that kid that was hurt and suppressed. So usually when I walk in a room, I feel not like Mr. Huntsville, not like Mr. Alabama. And I think that's a good humility most humans need, is to not to be bragging or boasting. They need to be, transparent. I feel for those guys or people that are struggling. I've been there. I felt that. I have those badges or those war wounds. So yeah, yesterday I walked in a room. My daughter's playing basketball, and I guess I walked in and I sat at the bleachers. There was a gentleman next to me, and he looked at me and he says, "Hey, whatever side you're going for, I'm going for the same side." Mark. And I guess it's because I'm intimidating, I'm big, I'm chiseled, I got muscles and veins coming out of my head. And I said, hey, whatever side you're going for, I'm going for it too. But it does happen a lot. Whether it's at a game for one of my kids or the grocery store or the restaurant. My wife thinks it's hilarious. I pick up a guy everywhere I go because the guy sees me maybe as an action figure
right there.
But they want to know how long you've been lifting. Where do you lift at? You know, how did you get there? What do you eat? What do you bench? You know, how long is it going to take me to get there kind of thing. So it's a very beautiful icebreaker. Now that I have a gym facility and I have a resource facility to help me become better men. So normally when I'm walking around, I'm a great billboard, but I'm also like, hey, how about I give you a week pass to my facility? I'd love for you to come in. I have a program. You don't have to join, but if anything, just come in the facility. Maybe it'll fill your needs and give you that dopamine that you're looking for.
Yeah, you keep doing that to me and I keep avoiding you.
I'll go get you.
Hey, so one more thing on size, because I got to pick on you. Can you swing a golf club? Can you play golf?
I can kick the shit out of them.
Okay, well, I hear all the time that people that are built like you can't hardly swing a golf club. And
So I do, me and my wife, and I've probably golfed at least 30 times in the last 10 years. I do enjoy it. When I make contact, I can make it go forever. Like you can't see the ball. So I have the strength. But my form, I look like that big bear at the circus riding a tricycle.
Yeah. Hey, that's me on my motorcycle. I feel it.
The form is horrible. Form is horrible.
Awesome. All right. We've touched on your businesses. We touched on your personal life a little bit. What about next year, 2025? What does it hold for you, your businesses, your personal life? What you got going on?
So my greatest accomplishment wasn't just the Mr. Alabama, because when I went and did Mr. Alabama, I had to go 100 miles south to Birmingham area, step on stage. And because my associates, my employees, my gym members, my family members, not everybody was able to attend, I get the feeling of gratification as I did winning the Mr. Huntsville. When I won Mr. Huntsville, like 30 gym members showed up, 20 of my employees showed up, my mom, my sister, my cousins. I mean, I had the win, but the win was also pleasured by, I got on stage with about 50 people fan club, and we all took a great picture with me, my wife, and everybody else. And that picture is now like an 8x10. So when you walk in the door at the Huntsville gym, you see this picture of me and the associates and my following, my fan club. So I was like, oh my gosh, that was the best feeling ever. And my kids and my associates and my members have all turned it up even more from seeing and experience and them getting on stage. Now I have other people that want to get on stage. My son wants to get on stage. My kids want to work out. My members want to be better athletes. My associates want to be better athletes. And I said, man, if I can grow that picture every year, that would be so satisfying. So my goal for next year's 2025 Mr. Huntsville again, to get everybody on stage and grow that picture, because it's not about what it grows me, but it's about what it grows for the people around me.
Yeah,
So
I feel that.
my goal for 2025 is to give back to the people closest to me, to inspire them, to influence them, to motivate them with some instillment. I want them back on stage, and I want that stage to be bigger and better to where you can't even see me because the crowd is so big.
Yeah, that's cool. That's super cool. All right. So if the folks who are listening here today have fallen in love with what you believe and what you do, how do they find your stuff? Where do they go to find your moving company, cleaning company, the Huntsville Gym? Where do they go?
If you Google Muscle Up Movers, the Huntsville Gym, there's so much advertising, which is good. I have a great advertising team and pay them handsomely. So you'll find the Huntsville Gym, Muscle Up Movers, and my information is on there where you can email me or you can text me. It won't be an instant response, but you'll get a response from me, because again, the better I can help people, that's what God called me to do, is to serve others.
Yeah, that's awesome. So guys, I really think that one of the things that makes Huntsville so big is people like Joseph out there that are doing their thing and doing it in a big way. I actually prepared for this so much. I even brought a coffee cup. Let me see if my screen will pick it up. Come on.
Wonderful. I don't want to.
Oh, hey, welcome to the gun show. That's nice.
Yeah.
We've got your arms. Those are your arms, right?
They are. They're one. They have to get in the burn.
So if you look at the Muscled Up Movers graphics, you'll see some arms on there, and those are actually Joseph's arms, which is cool. Yep. And actually, when we worked out together in 2017, one of his goals was to get arms like mine so that he could put them on his cards, and he did that. So everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, Joseph, for being here. Y'all keep tuning in to Big Huntsville Podcast. We're going to have big people just like Joseph on here all the time. Y'all have a great day. Peace.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Big Huntsville Podcast. If you've enjoyed the stories, the laughs, and maybe learned a little something new about our amazing city, remember, Huntsville isn't just a place, it's a community. And we've got some of the best folks around. So if you like today's episode, please don't forget to subscribe and share it with a friend. And if you got a local hero or story you think we should highlight, hit me up. I'd love to hear about it. Until next time, I'm Carl Thomas. Keeping it fun, keeping it real, and always keeping it big here in Huntsville. Catch you later.